everyone, welcome to VTB's podcast.
Are you going to make the music quieter?
Yeah, I should probably do that first, huh? Is this dramatic enough?
Well, now it feels like I'm like passing away a little bit. So like a little faster would
Feels a
kinda
little faster?
No, it would. I would have.
There we go. How about that? Welcome to VGB's podcast, episode 11. I'm one of your hosts. John Warren with me is my favorite forever co-host, Niki Grayson. Hi,
Hey,
Niki.
what's up, John?
How's it going?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm really good. Today we have a very special guest. We're going to bring him to the stage right now. Right now. It's Alex Van Aken.
Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
What's up?
How are you?
Dude, never better. Life's great. No issues, really.
Where are you? Because Niki and I can speak. We can.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
All right, let me just make a banner real quick for our video people.
Yeah. Just put
Thanks to Alex for calling in from the
Hell.
literal hell.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's
And then
awesome.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so Niki and I, obviously we've been through not quite this experience. It was kind of a different experience. But like I feel like we both went through like a process, right? You know, so when Fanbyte went under, there was definitely like I think that most of that day actually was almost this kind of euphoric, like I'm in the fucking vibe zone. I was drinking beer in my backyard, like at 11 a.m. I was just kind of like, whatever the fuck, man. Like, It's cool. It's fine. And then I went into, like, you know, deep despair land for a little while. And then I went into, like, I'm going to burn the world down. And then, like, kind of back into, like, so there's a lot I personally feel like I went through during that.
Okay,
period.
but you think that's unique, and you're not just describing the 7 stages of grief?
No. I understand that. I'm just saying, I'm illustrating what mine looks like, and I'm curious
Sure.
about Alex because we're what, less than a full week from the official.
Yeah. What? 4 business days.
4
right?
business
4 or
days
5
since
business days. Yeah,
GameStop
like
decided to unceremoniously close Game Informer and also close off its archives from the public, which is fucked up.
It's tragic. Really. You know, I'm obviously very heartbroken to lose my own job.
Sure.
But I think it's actually sadder. I would be less sad if Game Informer still existed and it still kept going, you know? And it's just an institution that's just gone overnight, essentially. I mean, like the YouTube channel's still up there for now. I know there's been a big archival project going on at MinMax. It was a shock. I think things were going pretty good for us this year. And so it kind of came out of nowhere, really. But yeah,
I guess that was maybe my. I think most people ask me this question, and I didn't really know how to respond. The truth is actually very complicated. But they asked me, like, did you see this coming? And my answer was always, like, fairly complicated. Y'all had just, quote unquote, I mean, in the history of the entire publication, it was a very recent event of having the standalone relaunch essentially of the magazine. I've got 3-4 issues since y'all did that. Something like that.
There should be another one hitting your mailbox here in the coming days.
Hell yeah, that's going to be really bittersweet and strange. But I will hold on to that and cherish it. So that was relatively recent. It seemed like it was a good thing. I don't know about the X's and O's of like the margins, and ultimately some of that shit doesn't matter. But I'm curious about kind of the energy around the team, kind of in that period before the closure.
Yeah, obviously I can't get into specifics for legal reasons, but it was doing very well. We were all very happy internally. There was a lot of excitement about it. There was a lot of upward momentum. And I mean, every new cover story just continued to grow and grow. And we also had like the digital, I mean, we still had our digital readership from like the GameStop Power Up Rewards memberships that was still tied into them.
Yeah.
So once we launched our own kind of quote independent, like, they're still our parent company, but we were more directly in control of the physical print magazine. We were kind of servicing both our own core base and GameStop's.
Yeah.
And just things were going really well. And I have posited on a couple of podcasts this week, pure speculation. I think like just looking at like why would they make this decision? I mean, the PRs, it's a really bad PR move. It's a beloved brand,
Yeah.
There are perks there are a lot of other perks as well to having Game Informer around
Yeah.
for them as a company. I think it just comes down to they've probably gotten to the point, it's been public, all the layoffs throughout the years. I think they've maybe gotten to the point where, okay, well, if we cut somebody over here, things for our retail business are gonna break. And so we have to cut this beloved magazine and keep it on the chin. That's just me speculating. I have no
I
internal knowledge.
Yeah.
the thing that I don't understand, and I think this is I don't do business. Because if I did, I would be bad at it. Because I think you need to be fundamentally broken to do business here.
To some
but
extent,
like,
I think that's true. Yeah.
yes, but like, I think that the thing I don't get, wouldn't it have been easier to get some money instead of no money
No.
by selling it?
I mean,
to somebody else?
I easier in the sense of like you would have to do some pretty extensive work to make that sale go through, and I think actually less work to just close it. To be honest, I don't know.
Annoying.
I think there are other decisions where like closing down the website that don't make sense to me, because
Right.
like you could still be getting passive revenue from all of those old articles.
Yeah, like you put ads next to that stuff. You could, if anything, you could put more ads next to this stuff.
Yeah, because like you don't really have like a reputation to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So-
chock that thing full of ads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that aspect of it I don't understand for sure.
Yeah, and
And,
I
like,
wonder if maybe they're like planning to bring it back in that way and like pruning it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the big question, and you can go to, well, first of all, Ben Hansen over at MinMax has just been doing a great job of just like archiving a bunch of stuff, but also having great conversations with y'all and former Game Informer people. So go check out MinMax. I've been a happy sub for a few months now. I was late to that game, but it's a really great thing. And he filmed this video that like we watched the other morning on a stream of you giving the tour of the new offices.
Yeah,
And there's something, and that was back in March, right?
yeah.
There's something so unbelievably, of course, like I have a really, I'm a sick person. My head is really is sick, but something very funny about just the way y'all are talking about like what's gonna happen to all this stuff back in March,
Yeah.
and all of us in chat and I are just sitting here like, ah, ah.
Yeah, well, we filmed that. That was right after Blake got laid off.
Oh,
And
man.
there are other things happening that I can't talk about. That it was like, Ben had been asking me like for a tour, and I was like, all right, well, if we're gonna do it, like we kind of have to do it now, I think. And so that's why. And I was like, you can't publish this while I work here. Like, I don't know if I would get in trouble, but like it just like.
Yeah,
I was like, this purely for like archival purposes.
Yeah.
And obviously, once the thing went down, I was like, you could probably post it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably safe now.
It's probably safe. But that's a great tour. There's like a 50-minute version up on the Patreon, so if you want to go do that, you should definitely go do that. I think what's clear about Game Informer that I think is so fascinating is that everybody who has worked for it and was working for it up until its closure, everyone kind of knows that the publication was at this very bizarre intersection of a retailer needing to basically keep mostly I think a happy face for its brands that are like, coming to it and doing all this stuff. That's me putting words in that mouth. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it's not like y'all are going to be publishing an expose on your cover of something, most likely.
Most likely.
But like even though I think that tension is obvious to everyone, I think the other thing that is really obvious to everyone and that stands out is like everyone involved is deeply in love with the history and the making of video games. And I
Hmm.
think like your tour of that space and everyone kind of talking about it, Dan Reichert was on that tour as well. Um,
Who?
I think there's just like there's such an unbelievable amount of institutional knowledge and love that went into that
Yeah.
publication over its 33 years,
Yeah, yeah.
and that really comes out. Maybe speak to what it was like to work with people that that was very clearly the case.
Yeah, well, kind of on your you mentioned like we didn't necessarily like do many exposés, and that is true. I do
And
think
that's not a detract. I don't
oh
think that's a
no,
bad
definitely.
thing.
I think it was definitely like an
It's
internal
just
vision. They always wanted it to be positive.
sure, yeah,
Um there were some times where like things I can think of a couple instances where like we saw some uh bad things, not bad things, but it was like, is this print worthy?
right, yeah,
And what we did instead was we went to the studio. Me and Wesley were on a trip where there's some inappropriate things said by a guy, and we were up all night talking with Miller. It was like 2 a.m. where we were like, do we run this in print? Like, we only have a certain amount of pages.
right,
And we ultimately went to the studio and we're like, you have to put on an entire training for your entire company and talk about the comments that were said in this setting, and you need to like show us and commit that you're going to do this to better. And they did it, and like that was something that was like, a really interesting experience. And then there are other times like I can think of like I co-wrote the Armored Core story with Blake, and that was not a very positive cover story.
sure,
I think the first word in that cover story is underwhelming, because the demo that they gave us, it's funny. I think I got the best demo for Redfall, and I got the worst demo for Armored Core.
mm.
Um, because yeah, my previews are just so off for both of those. But
Redfall's
Redfall's gonna
great.
be it. It's the
yeah,
next big thing.
yeah, pre-order.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
you got to get in on this.
it's gonna save Arcane.
Yeah, yeah. That's really funny though, and even our latest issue that people should get on their doorsteps soon. We it's on the casting of Frank Stone. It's a single player Dead by Daylight
Oh
game,
sure, yeah,
and we kind of held their feet to the fire with like the layoffs that have happened this year, and the most recent cut in June, um, and we've got all that in print and stuff, but yeah, it was always an interesting balance with Game Informer, because I mean it was access journalism, like people came to us with stories because I think not necessarily because we would talk about it positively, but we talk about it fairly at least. um
yeah,
and of course they were always like, for the most part, very buttoned up in terms of like, we're going to show you our best selves. um and in the cases that wasn't the case, we would take it to our editor in chief and really talk through it and come up with solutions about whether we're going to run it, or if there's, I mentioned that other scenario that we felt like that was the right thing to do. um and yeah, so yeah, it's just been, it was an interesting balance, and I think we did it well for the most part. It's
yeah.
the publication was around for 33 years. Definitely some warts in there, right? And I think Game
Oh
Informer definitely
yeah.
evolved with the times. There's definitely some of those old, like going back and reading some of those old magazines where it's like, yikes.
Well, read a games magazine from the mid
Oh
'90s or
yeah,
late
yeah,
Oh,
'90s. That
for
isn't.
sure. It was just
It
that's
was
the
it
of
was the
course.
fucking
course.
Wild West.
of
Like
course. I
I
mean, it
went
is
for
fascinating though to have those references
for
in
sure.
print to go back to. uh
Even just advertising in print back then was just
oh
crazy.
yeah,
Just like
yeah.
weird, overtly sexual,
Oh
very
yeah,
strange, like odd innuendo stuff,
yeah.
and yeah. So that's definitely really interesting. I think something I'm really I was consistently impressed by with kind of the late era Game Informers was y'all would get cover stories that were legitimately surprising and fresh, which to me I think print magazine fresh are completely diametrically opposed in the 2020s, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
you would not expect something to hit your eyeballs first from a print publication. I have to imagine some of that is access and the ability to kind of get that stuff early. But like, what is that like being able to kind of break something while still kind of having this print footprint?
Yeah, it was. We definitely had a focus, especially in recent years, of making sure the magazine was evergreen. Even though the paper quality was, can I cuss on here?
Yes.
Yeah.
The paper quality was shit, but we were like, we want the quality to be coffee table worthy, right?
Yeah.
Something that you can keep out, you can open it up and read really interesting developer profiles and interviews, and of course the cover stories. Sorry, what was the question? I'm
No,
exhausted.
it was basically just like what is it like to essentially still be able to break something with a print
Oh, yeah.
publication? I mean,
It was cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that there were a couple other games that we were going to break that fell through, and we had to get like a last minute replacement for the cover story because in the most recent case, it was a game that they hadn't secured a publisher yet
okay.
when we started talking to them, and we were going to break it. It was like a follow up to a pretty prominent
You can
indie
just say it was
studio.
Halo 2.
It was Halo 2. Yeah, they were,
Second Halo. Cool.
yeah, Halo 2 2. That's gonna be part 2 HD. And we got through, we 2 months of planning on going on this cover story trip, and I think it was 2 weeks before we were supposed to fly out there. They got a publisher, and the publisher was like, "We want to be the ones to reveal this, not."
Oh.
And so that fell through, and I think that was the issue that we got. Our replacement, I think, was Sea of Stars, maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, Sea of Stars might have been a bigger game that fell through, and we reached out to them. We're like, we really want to talk to you about this game, and that cover is one of my favorites. So we were like, okay, we're gonna do the indie issue. It's gonna be all about indie games coming out, retrospectives, all of that, and that's one of my favorite issues. I love that issue, and that came from a place of like, oh shit, we have to figure something out, and I think that was some of our best work actually. I think that story ended up being a lot more compelling than the other one that was on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always interesting. It was just kind of case by case basis every issue, how it would go, and some of them went really smoothly, and there were a lot of them that I was surprised that some stories did way better than I was expecting, and ones where I was like, this is going to be a hit, were just duds in terms of like traffic and like but that was the nice thing about having a subscription, is you could take those chances, and as long as you could cover small games, and I guess I can't say it was sustainable now, but at the time I would have told you it's sustainable.
I don't. Yeah. I think just because it, I do.
I think in the right hands it's sustainable.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sure.
I do think it was probably sustainable, but not with.
And
not with
I've also seen like people saying online like, well, it was a print magazine, of course it shut down. It's 2024. Like this has been coming for a while, and I think there is definitely truth to that. I also wouldn't tie like just because something is in decline culturally, like print magazines, right, doesn't mean it can't be profitable in the right hands.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but I mean, y'all are still doing. Obviously things have probably changed in this regard, but even in the 2010s, y'all are still doing more circulation than things like Sports Illustrated and Time, and even Playboy at one point. Like y'all are more popular than Boobs, which is like,
there's one of
huge,
my favorite tweets is it was around like 2018, or I think it was like 2018-ish, and it was some external survey that was like the most circulated magazines in America, I think, and I think we were number 3 or 4 up there, and the tweet just says, I have no idea who the hell is what the hell is Game Informer, and we're up there with like Time and National
Yeah,
Geographic.
yeah. I mean, it's
It's
crazy
really funny.
stuff. So the air is really, I think, thin up there, and I think obviously it's thinning out for everybody. But I don't like when people were asking me like, "Oh, was this a big surprise?" I was like, "Well, why wouldn't someone just buy it?" They would ask me, and my only speculation is just like, I think it's really tough to assume that that print publication and all of its moving parts and its built-in quality to a still relatively large retailer, like it's really tough to get that in a different owner, right? So like
Mhm.
it's not an obvious switch I think you could flip, but like that's also like acting like the online version and also the video stuff that you were spearheading wasn't incredibly valuable, high quality stuff that could have
Definitely.
kept going. And
Yeah.
so you were the former video lead. I really thought you were doing some amazing work
Thank
with
you.
video over the past year. What were some of your favorite projects that you did, and maybe just reflect on your time doing the video portion of your work?
Yeah. I really when I came to Game Informer wanted to start doing documentaries. It was in the middle of COVID though when I joined, and so that
It's a
wasn't.
great time to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Never, never been a
exactly.
better time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to get down on this.
yeah.
It's gonna be
The,
big.
Danny O'Dwyer famously had a great time making his
Oh
documentaries during
yeah. Yeah.
COVID.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
And that was the thing. I did want to do like Discord
Yep.
documentaries. It's just not what I'm passionate about. Not saying that those aren't valuable or
No, I
important,
totally get it. Yeah.
but just like what creatively fulfills me, it was like, no thanks.
Yep.
And so it was about 2022 that we did our first set. And actually, Blake Hester was kind of my partner in crime with the first one when we flew out to California. And I think it was late April 2022. Um, and that trip was a whirlwind. We arrive in Santa Monica on Monday. Monday night, I get a call. My dad is gonna die, and I have to say goodbye the next morning. and and Blake and I are just like at coffee.
Uh,
And like so I'm like, okay, well, we've got tomorrow. We're supposed to be doing like some B-roll tomorrow. So I'll say goodbye to my dad. I'll call him in the morning, and then Blake and I will try to salvage the day and go film some B-roll at night. And then Wednesday we'll go meet up with Derek Yu. We're gonna do this Spelunky thing. My dad lived, by the way. Um, but that week we and I did say goodbye, but he lived. I found out actually after I was filming two documentaries that week. The first one was Derek Yu. We took him and went uh caving essentially. I mean,
yeah.
like we weren't
Oh yeah.
we weren't like sucking in our chests and like going through crevices, but we were scaling some rock faces, and
Yeah.
we had Derek reflect on 10 years of Spelunky and the success from that massive indie game back in the day, and kind of what that means to him today, and how he kind of used it his past work. And all that was set within
Yeah.
this framing of, we're going to hike to a cave while we interview you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to climb into the cave, which is like a 20 to 30 foot rock climb shimmy situation. And then once we're in the cave, we'll kind of get to the introspective stuff and talk about that. And that video turned out excellent. There's a couple shots in there that drive me nuts because they're underexposed. I don't think most people know, but to me, I'm like, there's so much film grain on this shot. But other than that, like, I love that video. I'm so proud of it. Blake Hester was produced it with me. And that one's a standout. The next day I shot another documentary called Making Mina. It was just I think Blake went and walked around Santa Monica, and I went to Alec Faulkner's house, and Alec Faulkner works at Yacht Club
Yacht
Games.
Club.
Yeah. And I remember just like walking to this dude's house and be like, "What's up, man? You ready to do this?" And yeah, we had a great day filming. And then in the middle of those interviews later that afternoon, I stepped out. I was getting a call from the hospital, and it was like, "Your dad's gonna live." And so I come back in, and I'm like, "My dad's gonna live. Let's keep filming."
Yay.
And yeah, so that's a very prominent trip in my mind. for a lot of reasons,
Yeah,
obviously.
that would stand out.
I think some of my other ones, just real quick, we brought the Broken Age crew back together
Sure.
to discuss the making of the game 10 years later, and a lot of the Double Fine leads on that project have gone on to
Yeah,
work at other
scattered.
companies.
Yeah.
So we got them all together at Red's Bar in Koreatown and in San Francisco, which is like the place that game was incubated essentially, on like one drunk party night, and they would go back there and you know do their thing and come up with ideas for the game at that bar. So I really liked when we had the opportunity to put developers in cool places that just totally transform or maybe not transform, but like definitely add to the entire video. I think it's so interesting. um so yeah, I really loved that work
Well,
there. That was a
well,
lot
I
of
think
fun.
I think I think that approach is really vital because having done either creative or some form of creative work for
Hmm.
15 years, um, I don't reflect on the moments that I was stuck in my office for 12 hours, like hammering away at a problem.
Yeah.
I focused on the place I was, or the walk I was at, or the bar I was at, or the restaurant where my collaborators and I had like a conversation that solved a problem, And
Hmm.
I think that energy, I think your idea of that captures that energy, right? Which is I think really valuable. I think it's real. So yeah,
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
I love
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are what come to mind, the highlights for me. I had a
yeah,
lot of highlights, honestly. I got to travel the world.
that's amazing.
I had
Yeah,
only ever been outside of the country for my honeymoon, and then I joined Game Informer and eventually got to go all over the place.
wow,
um yeah, it was awesome.
that is super super awesome.
Yeah.
Nikki, you've probably never been to a Funko Land, have you?
No. How
No.
old do you think I am?
What about a Babbage's?
No.
No.
I've been to a Babbage's.
EB Games was alive when I was there.
Okay.
It was one of them was a GameStop, and then one of them was an EB Games.
Sure.
And then that was it. But I have like vivid memories of like the GameStop man's name was Elston. I always remember it because it's a weird
Elston
name.
John.
Elston John. And he like was like, he showed me that, like, I don't even remember which issue it was, but he like showed me a Game Informer, and I'd never seen one before.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, they make magazine about.
Bless
Wow,
you.
bless you. Make a magazine about sneezing. They do.
Oh, one more.
Bless you.
Sorry. They make magazine about video game. I was like obsessed. And we signed up for whatever the fuck the version of Power Up Rewards was in 2006 or like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Earlier than that, but like whatever version it was. And then read Game Informer every month for at least a decade, or however frequently it would come. Yeah, I think the thing that, like, it's just an institution. It would be like if they turned off like National Geographic, which is like soon, I would assume.
Where would you get your animal news from?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, what
Where?
am I gonna do? But it's not even like, yes, deeply, but also like, I think there is value in keeping things alive on the basis of the fact that they have been alive for a very long time. Sometimes, and like, as long as they continue to do good work, justifies their existence. And that's kind of how I feel and felt about Game Informer. And I know you and I know other folks there, and I'm like, I know that y'all were doing good work. I've read, looked at, watched, listened to all of that good work. So that the reason I felt so crazy about it is that, like, no reason, like literally no reason. So yeah, I don't know, bummed, deeply sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely bummed. I remember getting my first Game Informer when I went to a Funko Land in Dallas, Texas. It was across the highway from the Galleria in a little strip center. I think my mom had read about it, and she was like, "I guess I'll take my child there." And I just was fucking feral for a place that just had just video games
Yeah.
everywhere.
Hmm.
And I got to watch it evolve from Funkoland and then to Barnes and Noble, and then Barnes and Noble basically merged it with GameStop when they also bought Babbage's. And there was this local Babbage's that actually was called Super Software, and it was a subsidiary that was owned by Babbage's. And that's where I bought the giant trapezoidal copy of Final Fantasy VII for PC. Uh, you
What?
can look it up, folks. It's had a big trapezoidal box.
Final
It was very
Fantasy
strange.
Seven
That-
came out on the personal computer.
It did, yeah. That's where I played it for the first time because it didn't have a PS1. Um,
What?
and yeah, correct. And I so connect Game Informer to a place. So there is this kind of nostalgia of, okay, this thing has been around for a long time, but it is so deeply connected to a place, which, like, for better or worse, and I understand that, like, I think a lot of recent history would indicate worse because, like, that connection to GameStop was something that was usually cited by people as being a negative attached to the magazine. But, like, for better or worse, and in a lot of ways for me, because I'm so fucking old, it was better that it was so connected, deeply connected to a place that I remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's so strange to me that I just feel like we're losing. I feel like we're losing. Obviously, we're losing physical media, but we're also losing places. It feels like in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, and I don't know how to deal with that. I feel crazy every day feeling like that, and maybe that's of my own making, of someone that spends 12 hours a day in the same room.
We need more third spaces
We need
in
more
the
third
world.
spaces.
Yeah.
I agree.
There, yeah. It's funny you mentioned. I'm not going to get into specifics, but there were some places that in 20, I think it was like, I mean, in recent years, I thought that there was. I'm trying to pick my words wisely. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
This guy doesn't want to get in trouble with the law.
With the law.
Yeah, I'm a goody two shoes. There were going to be other places that you could go and buy Game Informer, like
Oh, cool.
airports, retail places, like.
Yeah.
And then the 2022 layoffs hit, and that kind of, along with that, I think around that time, some executives also got shuffled, and that fell apart. But it was like, yeah, there was a lot of like, man, this is going to be big for us. There were a lot of those moments in recent years, and yeah,
Frustrating. Really,
Mhm.
really frustrating.
Definitely.
We have some Hive questions. We usually save those all for one block, kind of toward the end.
Sure.
We got you for just 1 hour ish. I'm going to open it up a little bit here. Let's
Of course.
see. I've got 2 questions.
I'm going to run to the restroom very
You're gonna
quickly.
go. All right, hold on. Let me add that banner real quick. Nikki.
Oh,
is going
Nikki
to
shitting.
go piss and or shit. We'll see how
Stay
long
tuned.
they're gone.
Keep it locked.
There we go. All right. So, question for you. It's not really a question, but Imran Khan. I've never heard of this person, but Imran Khan asks, "I'd like to know more about Alex's upcoming YouTube documentary project and the best way to support it." Which I think. is
Yeah.
really
Wow. Imran. So nice of you. How did you know about that? Why did you know that was a
could
thing?
Imran possibly know?
Yeah, so this is going to get announced tomorrow on Friday, August 9th.
That's so exciting.
But I've kind of started soft launching it. I was on Min-Max last night
Great.
and knew that would roll out and it was going to be on here. But my next thing is called Viewport. It's inside looks at game development, video game documentaries, developer profiles. It's going to be Patreon funded. The Patreon's live now. The YouTube channel's live. I have yet to film the announcement video. That's why I can only stay for an hour today, because I am going to film that. But yeah, it's Viewport. It's at Viewport Video, pretty much on Twitter, on Patreon, on YouTube, youtube.com/@Viewport Video. Love that they did that to those
listen,
usernames.
that's delicious. That's delicious.
Yeah. I've actually already filmed one documentary because this was going to be a side project originally. I'd gotten approval from my boss, Matt Miller, to do non-AAA game docs. At this point now, maybe it'll expand into AAA. I don't know, but I am really interested and inspired by solo game devs, smaller game studios, and you can tell that from my work at Game Informer, the Mean of the Hollower doc, the Spelunky doc. That's my lane typically, and yeah, so Viewport is going to be all about that. I filmed the first doc back in July in Montreal. Don't want to announce that one yet because the game is releasing soon, and I don't want to
jinx it.
Yeah, and
Halo 2.
and also it's a smaller game compared to the one that I'm going to film next week in Seattle. I'm going to film the making of Another Crab's Treasure with Aggro Crab.
That's fun.
So I'll be there. Next Wednesday I leave to go do that. There's a couple other. I don't want to do just game development documentaries. I'm going to be, when I'm in Seattle, going to be doing a video called, working title, but A Day in the Life of Running Pink Gorilla, the U.S.'s biggest retro game store.
Yeah.
So we got that in the works. And then, we're going to see how this Patreon launch goes. I've got a couple of people that have rolled in already and started supporting it. I think a lot of what I want to do, I mentioned, I'm not all that interested in doing, Discord documentaries.
Yeah.
I want to be on location.
Sure.
All that requires money. So we're going to see how it goes over the next few weeks. But my plan is to go to England maybe later this year. I have family that lives there, so I can stay with them and use that as like a home base to go see a lot of developers. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Viewport, I'm excited. It's going to be a good time. I'm also going to try to do some consulting, some freelancing. I'm kind of just keeping things open. All of this is so fresh, but yeah, I just want to say creatively, I want to keep moving,
Absolutely, yeah. No, and I think like having your own space to do this, and having kind of your own community that can fund the things that you want to do, is definitely powerful and freeing and awesome. So I think you'll have a good time with this.
Me too.
I was one of the people that just rolled up, so I just
thank
did that
you.
now. It took me, you know what, folks? If you're logged into your Patreon account, it takes so little time to do one of those. So just
click two buttons.
It's just like basically
thank you. It's so nice.
Patreon.com/.
There's no video yet. There's no thank you video. Those will be active tonight, very late at night.
Yeah, it's already a dead Patreon.
Dead on arrival.
So nothing there.
Nothing.
No, but this is super exciting. I think just seeing the potential of what you'd already been doing on Game Informer, and then knowing that you've kind of got your own independent way to do that is definitely exciting. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Definitely go do that. It's just following up with like a totally relevant question.
Of course.
If you didn't have hands, what things would you replace them with? Asked Sleeve McDykel.
I think I would have one fork.
All of the time. All of the time.
Oh, I can't.
All of the time.
All of the time. Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Don't lock it in. Don't lock it in. Not locked into that one.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah, you.
I mean, I would probably just want like prosthetic. But
That's
if
a
I
great
can't,
answer.
if I can't have that,
what would you want if you didn't have hands? Hands, probably.
yeah.
The
other variety.
Yeah.
Maybe like one of those grandma claws. You know what I'm talking about?
That's
the
good.
extendos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'd be one hand, and I feel like I could hold things. I could eat with that.
Okay.
I could pick up a burger with that.
Okay.
And then on the other hand, I'm gonna go with maybe this is a chance to get some cyberpunk augments.
Yes.
Sure.
Maybe I'll get like a heartbeat detector.
That's great.
So then I'll know when there's people around
When there's
me.
people around you.
Yeah.
There's no
There's
other way to
people
find that
around
out.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
know?
you meant like a stethoscope. Like I'm just gonna be like, here you go. Here
Yeah.
you
No,
go.
I mean,
Is your heart beating?
if the heartbeat monitor is strong enough, like I could see through walls essentially.
That's the thing.
Wow,
I think
yeah,
that's the
that's
move.
true.
You need to make
Yeah.
yourself suddenly unbelievably useful to United States government.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Is
need
the
to
move.
get involved with
Yeah.
military contractors.
Yes, so it has to be like I've got a gun that's got unlimited bullets. It's in
My
my
grandma claw has the gun, and then I can
Yes.
see through walls with my.
and I can see through walls
Wow.
employed
Yeah.
forever.
The
Yeah.
CIA is gonna.
That's
love
actually like the perfect making of like a mercenary. I could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
totally. Nikki, what about you?
Magnet
Whoa.
Okay.
on one of them because then I can put anything I want on there.
Then you can never use a credit card. I love it.
That's okay. I don't have one of those.
Okay.
So you just put one of those on there. Magnet. Maggot. And a maggot on the other hand.
And a maggot.
Just one weird little worm guy. A magnet on one hand, then you can pop that baby off. You can do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I did make fun of you for a fork, but now I kind of am like,
Yeah. What are you gonna
Right. What are you gonna
interact
do?
with?
Right.
I guess the magnet though, you could pick up forks with a magnet if
that's
it's really
so
strong.
true. That's so true.
You could also equip a knife if you want to join my mercenary squad.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That's a pretty good
What
one.
if I got a second arm?
Just
Can I have another
even-
arm in
didn't
place
even
of
look
my
at-
hand?
so
It's
you're
really
kinda-
long.
you're
Wouldn't that
going
just be
for that-
one really long arm?
You're kind of going for that like Elden Ring kind of vibe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So arms on arms on arms, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I would do a Roku remote and a bottle opener. I think like
How are you gonna eat?
Why
someone will feed me-
Roku?
Someone will feed
Come
me.
on.
Well, Roku is fun because I could drive down the street and just change other people's
Yeah,
TVs.
everybody
Yeah.
else's
Oh,
TVs.
because I think that's a fun thing.
You could go to
do.
Roku City for sure.
I could go to
Yes,
Roku
they would
City.
give you the key to Roku City if one of your hands was a Roku remote.
Take me down to the Roku City
Mhm.
where everything's purple and
Yeah, yeah,
and they're doing the gritty.
that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah. Sergeant Sphinx asks, apropos of not knowing that if any of us are baseball fans,
Yep.
which team is going to win a World Series first? The Mariners, Brewers, Rockies, Rays, or Padres?
Great question.
Shout out Rockies. I went to many games when I lived in Colorado. I'm not a baseball guy, but I like
Good
going to baseball
ballpark.
games. I had my wife Kayla and I. We had nacho cheese thrown at us from above one time. It was entertainment.
Hell yeah,
Okay.
That's the Rockies give you.
that's baseball. Mariners. I think it would just be fun for them.
I also think it's going to be the Mariners first.
Yeah.
I think they've never made it to the World Series,
No.
but I think they're going to be the first ones who win it.
I think folks typically like rooting for Seattle sports teams. Like there's something
Yeah, there's something
usually
there.
pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also gives us a second chance to have John Boys and the secret base folks go back in for
Yeah.
like a postscript on their
Mhm.
Mariners. It's
Be like, haha, just kidding.
just kidding, they won. All right, that's kind of a good one. All right, so what ancient board game would you most want to have a Balatro but for X for? This is from Lucky Hyena. So.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
That is such
Yeah.
a good answer.
Famous ancient game. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
Oh, John's showing his whole ass. Doesn't know that it's the ancient game from ancient Egypt. They've been playing it for millennia. And just
like
he's the king of games. They've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for longer than the wheel has existed, John. So, but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh or maybe Beyblade. One of
Yu-Gi-Oh
those.
or Beyblade.
Beyblade, my
Balatro,
favorite
but for-
board game.
Yes.
Favorite board game. Beyblade.
You can play Beyblades on a board.
Yeah. you
Actually,
can-
that is true, and you have to have the stadium
Yeah.
to do it right.
Beyblades are back, according to TikTok.
They
That's
they
true.
are. They
I've
are.
seen some really intense Beyblade battles on
Yeah.
TikTok.
They have hot takes about how bad the new arenas are, but apparently the Beyblades themselves are good.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, but the arenas
Are
ass.
terrible. Or ass. Okay. All right. So we have Yu-Gi-Oh. We have Beyblades.
Shout out Pokemon.
Pokemon. Okay.
Ancient
Pokemon, but
board games.
Balatro.
Hey,
I
what the
would-
fuck? What's in there? Are you
Yeah,
gonna
what's
open that
in
guy,
there?
or are you gonna keep that guy closed for the rest of your life?
No, I'm gonna open it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
My wife is watching this live
Oh,
stream. Sorry, Kayla, I bought this. I needed happy juice. I got it at Target when I got toilet paper. I didn't tell you, but you're finding out about it
You're
now.
finding out about it right now. Hi, Kayla.
But look at that
Look at
illustration
it.
card.
It's good.
I took the box out of the bag and stuffed it under my shirt. So you wouldn't know that I got it, as well as toilet paper.
Yeah, are we
Sorry.
in trouble now? Are we complicit?
No, we'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Okay, great.
All right, that's good.
I hope.
God, yeah, Pokemon Balatro would be kind of cool.
It'd just be great if
Yeah.
you could play Pokemon in like a mobile. I mean, I know they're launching that new thing. I'm so excited
Yeah.
Oh, that
for whatever that's
Pokemon-
gonna be. Yeah.
Yes, they should make a good Pokemon game again.
They should. Yeah. I
that
think
would
like
be
actually
cool.
Pokemon is fun to play, but it is not fun to try to play Pokemon, if that makes sense.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please do that.
What about you, John? What game are you turning into a Balatro?
Go,
Oh,
you know,
that's good.
like the oldest one. You
the
know?
oldest one.
Monopoly,
No, again,
Go?
Yu-Gi-Oh is
No.
older than Go.
Yeah. Shut the fuck
Yeah. Ancient millennia.
We just talked about this.
The
Sean.
pyramids.
Exactly. The
pyramids?
pyramids are before
pyramids.
Go.
I do think chess with Balatro would be kind of fun.
Ooh, that's a
Of
good
like
answer.
you have little jokers on the side that change the way the
Like,
board works.
Shut up. Shut up. Shush, 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 shush. Cut it out.
Cut
Stop.
it out.
That's a
TM,
good
TM.
idea.
That's a good idea.
That's a good
Right.
idea. Because
Yeah.
then it changes. Oh, hold on, but you're saying so. Depending on what cards you have, the rules of the guys, like
Sure.
of the pieces, the movement of the pieces changes, and also are you playing?
Or like now your queen has like a rail gun.
Okay,
And,
but
you know.
that's great. Here's
New
my
honeybee
question.
rodeo.
Is it
Yeah.
yes?
hell
Situation.
yeah.
Is the AI playing against you, or are you trying to solve a chess puzzle? Like, is the opponent board stagnant, just set up? Oh, my camera froze. Is the opponent board stagnant and set up,
Goodbye.
or is it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, like,
know what I mean?
like, couldn't you get cards that like make like the middle row, lava or something? Like, couldn't you
I
could
think
do that?
adding terrain modifiers to the
Mhm.
board
Mhm.
would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. My Hero Zero, I don't think Chess Balatro is just really bad chess. Really bad chess is the game up on Puzzmo, which is
Yes.
Zach Gage's cool puzzle thing, which you can subscribe to. Really bad chess basically just changes like the
Placement of the guys.
placement and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think really bad chess is fun. I don't think it goes far enough in
Yeah,
this.
it should be
case.
weirder.
It should be weirder. Okay, cool. Before we take a break, I want to talk about Wolfeye's first-person sci-fi RPG. This got leaked. Not leaked. Ralph Antonio
announced. Yeah, what?
announced. Yeah, not leaked.
He leaked the game that he's making.
Well, he listen. Ralph Antonio is the guy that said "press sneak fucks" famously.
That's
So,
yes.
like, we could say that.
Did he
it was
really?
leaked. Yeah, that was him. He sent the email to Arcade Guys. It was like, "Don't tell the press sneak fucks about stuff." That was the big thing with him years ago. I met him, and I think he's a totally cool guy.
That's really funny.
I was a big fan of Dishonored and Prey, and Ralph Antonio was a big part of making Dishonored and Prey. He also made Weird West, which was their kind of isometric RPG-like game that came out a couple of years ago.
I reviewed that for Game Informer.
How'd you like it?
I give it an 8.
Yeah.
You know, I thought the world was really neat. I think like the second and third characters you play as
Yeah.
were the best ones.
Yeah.
I think the first one I could have done without, where you're going and finding your dead or your family, or I don't know if you know if they're dead or not. I don't remember.
It was kind of dry. Like they started on the wrong foot. I feel
They
like.
did, but then you could play as a werewolf or a pig,
Mm-hmm.
and that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool
So-
ideas.
Definitely cool ideas. Like, I think this team is good. It's gonna be a first-person RPG, sci-fi
Love that.
retro. Does look. There are like 3 screenshots that have been posted. You can go to, I think, Wario 64. A couple other outlets have talked about it as well. But it's going to be first person. That team is making it. And he's basically said, "Hey, if you like Dishonored and Prey, you're going to like this." It doesn't have a publisher yet, which is interesting. Kind of to your point of unveiling a game that doesn't have a publisher yet. I feel like that's kind of a rarity in today's market of like, hey, we're making a thing. We don't have the money to make it yet, but here we are. But it looks really cool. What do you, Nikki and Alex, like, what do y'all both want from a game like this
To come out.
to come out? Okay, so
Yeah, that'd be big.
That's
Let me
gonna be big
make
for
some
me.
notes
Is that it like
for
actually comes
Nikki.
out?
It's important that the game comes
Out so I can play it.
And
I
for
want
Al-
to. I want to forget that this game exists.
Okay.
Is basically how I feel about it. Like amped to learn about this. This is the first I'm hearing of this. I would love to forget about it until the video game is
Until it
playable
comes
for me.
out, sure.
Yes.
And for Alex, you just need it to be better than Redfall, one of your favorite games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love immersive sims. I love everything Arcane puts out. So if it could just be cool like that, I don't know. He's with Wolfeye now, his own
Yeah.
studio, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I just want it. Please, yeah, like Nikki said, please come out. Please don't
Yes.
get canceled.
Yeah. I think like a game that also picks up on the stealth elements that I think some of these games kind of get away from, especially when like I feel like retail numbers often change the ways that these games actually end up going through development. It's like, well, we can't make it too stealthy, otherwise, like the casual audience won't play it. And I'm always kind of like, I don't know if that's true. I think you got to lean really heavy into the immersive sim stuff and just kind of let people cook, you know?
Yeah, one thing I do want from it is kind of a return to the more linear is a bad way to describe it.
Yeah.
Non-open world is maybe better.
Yeah.
I think when they kind
Yeah,
of, I mean,
levels.
yeah,
is
I want
good.
levels. Perfect. Yeah, I want levels, and I think that's when Arcane does it best, is when they don't have to worry about like how these levels connect to each other in a larger world, because then they just become POIs, and what do you do outside of those POIs? Like, I think that was one of Redfall's downfalls. Yeah, I want Clockwork Mansion. I want
Right.
a return to like give me a good ass level.
Yeah.
So
Like density, right? Like you want kind of a
density, yeah,
density
density. Multiple paths, obviously, but
right.
yeah, I think ultimately density is what I think Weird West lacked a bit,
I agree.
and previous. I think Deathloop lacked it a bit. Deathloop was definitely still like you had the mansion that was really cool.
I wasn't a huge fan of Deathloop, honestly.
It was my game of the year. I loved
Okay,
it.
so
Wow,
I've come back
interesting.
around on Deathloop.
Wow.
I liked it when I played it and then cooled off on it.
Yeah.
And then I
Fair.
played it again when it came out on the Xbox and then was like, actually, this game fucking bangs. Like
Yeah.
the story is yeah.
Yeah.
Like and especially like the reveal at the end really kind of icked me. But like I think that game fucking bangs actually. Like I
Yeah.
really like Deathloop.
The multiplayer was so fun.
Yes, deeply fun. I will always remember that first or second week of the game being out. I was on like in the snowy level.
Yeah.
And I got invaded, and then I got deeply, and then I got a tweet from Austin Walker, and he was like, "Ass," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he's not even on my friends list.
That's
like, I was
so
like, "What do
funny.
you mean?"
That's so good.
You got No Scope by Austin Walker. No, I just think that when I think even Redfall was one of those games where like the actual mechanical stuff was not that interesting, but you could still see their flair for designing internal spaces was just like still really, really, really interesting
Yeah.
and good, and they're just really good at that. And I think like Wolfeye, again, not Arcane, but also involves a lot of people that were from that world. I'm just excited for them to cook like that again, I think, and have really cool spaces to do weird stuff in.
Me too.
So yeah, definitely excited about that. One of my most intriguing game announcements of the year so far. Alex, I want to thank you so much for hanging out. This has been so much fun.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can go to Patreon right now and support Viewport Video. That is Alex's brand new, cool, independent video docs series. You can support it right now at many different levels, which is super exciting. What else do you want people to go check out?
Yeah, you can just follow me, my personal account on social at It's Van Aken. I'm a lot more active on Instagram these days.
Okay.
I don't post much on Instagram. But I do use my story a lot.
Okay.
One of the crimes that Twitter has committed over the years was getting rid of fleets. I love those. Thought it was
Wow.
great.
What are you saying?
Fleets. They were like the Instagram stories for Twitter. I was like one of 100 users that used it,
Clearly,
but I loved it.
Clearly. It's like, what did you just call us? Fleets?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I remember fleets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also on the Cursed site, so if you're on X, I'm active there as well.
What?
Yeah.
That I can't handle.
I
You
know.
can. I'll let you say the word fleets, but you will
you
not
can't
call
say
that
X.
website.
You know this is legitimately the first time I've called it X in
That's
a serious
I-
way.
sick.
And you know what, Alex? We're grossed out that you chose this
You're right.
platform to
You're right. I
say
should
it
just
first.
leave. I should leave.
Yeah, I think you should leave. I can't.
Yeah,
and
I don't feel
think-
comfortable here anymore.
Yeah, I
actually.
think we're gonna kick you off the show, and
Okay.
you are welcome back literally anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah,
How does this
Patreon-
work? Do I just wave goodbye and
No,
you
no,
kick me
no.
out?
We're all gonna take a break. and
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
Put that jazz back up.
But
Ooh.
you can't.
But you know what? This
You
is the last time the three of us are gonna talk,
Okay.
because I can't
Well-
talk to you after we.
Well,
go
yes. So that's
away.
why we have to. And Jordan, leave all of this in.
Leave all of
You
this in.
can't
Yeah.
leave until the thing at the bottom.
Oh, that's so important.
Oh, but it's not gonna.
This
is
is
the thing.
wild.
Oh wow!
It isn't gonna.
It's not
And that's
gonna.
Crazy.
Think about that.
It's
Me
not
neither.
gonna.
I
It
didn't think
isn't-
about that.
Y'all, it's not
So-
gonna.
It
So-
isn't gonna.
Alex, here's what I'm gonna ask you to do, and if you don't want to do this, that's okay. There is a way around it that I can message you about later. And Jordan, leave all of this in, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have to leave this open,
That's fine.
okay? And just mute yourself, turn off your camera, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you off the stage, and then when it ends, it's gonna upload a file for me, and then you can close it.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll message you
We'll
when it's.
I'll go
time.
eat lunch.
Yes.
eat lunch.
Do that.
And
Do
make
anything
sure
else.
you leave your mic and camera on, and I'm just gonna do a big zoom of you eating for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds great.
All
I
right,
got some
Alex, thanks so
pineapple.
much for hanging out. We're gonna go take a quick break. Nikki and I will be back at the end of the break, and we will see y'all in a bit. Bye. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing.
L.A.
I
night.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody saying
Yeah.
L.A. night.
Yeah. That was a quick break. Thank you so much for Alex Van Aken for hanging out. That was a lot of fun. Once again, that is patreon.com/viewport video. You can go there now and go ahead and sign up. He is soft launching it as you're listening to this now on Thursday. But by the time you listen to it on the podcast on Friday,
be
it should be
hard.
hard.
He'll be hard.
Nikki. Oh, wow.
I didn't say
Ruining the
anything.
launch.
I didn't say anything.
Ruining the launch.
What did I say?
Alex's detractors will now post videos and be like, Nikki Grayson implied that Alex Van Aken has a hard dick for his own Patreon.
I didn't say that.
That's what you said.
I didn't say anything of this sort. I just
You
said that he was
said that.
hard.
You said... It gets totally different.
It's different.
It's different. Hey, Borderlands has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it went up. So that's good.
Actually, I think it went down to 3 when
Yeah.
when I wrote this.
Hey, the percent symbol in this font is whack.
It is weird, huh? It's like it's very strange. I don't like it.
It looks like like an Olympic pictogram.
It does. It does look
For
like an
something.
pictogram. So Borderlands, that comes out this weekend, which I totally fucking missed until this morning. Kate Blanchett, as well as Kevin Hart, as well as a lot of people I didn't realize were in it, like Bobby Lee and Ravina.
Nope.
How do you say her last name?
Janina Gavankar. You want to just take us down and we'll try again?
No, I'm not going to take us down, but I am going to try one more time.
Okay.
Hey, Janina Gavankar, I'm really sorry for fucking up your name really bad.
Jack Black in it.
Jack Black in it? Jack
yeah,
Black
so it's good.
It's apparently very bad. What I didn't know about this movie is that it's rated PG-13. I did not know that until literally this morning.
Wait, really?
Yes.
What?
Borderlands is rated PG-13. Now,
and it's bad.
Granted, Mortal Kombat from 1995 was also a PG-13 movie.
That's different though. They didn't have R back then.
You're right. R-rated movies started with
Titanic.
Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's nuts.
It's a fucking Eli Roth, aka the Hostel guy, movie that is about Borderlands, which is
especially in a post Deadpool. That's crazy to have it be PG-13.
Post multiple Deadpools, like
yes.
It was like certainly after Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, which, like, by the way, this movie's been in the can since 2001. I mean,
that's really fucking funny. They've been sitting on this movie for 23 calendar years.
Since 2021. Excuse me.
Yes.
No, it was filmed right before 9/11, and they've held it. So yeah, it's been in the can since 2021. And it went through what they called kind of a post-development hell. The original writer has written himself off of the screenplay and requested he be removed from it.
That's great. That's how you know it's good.
Even the most enthusiastic TikTok-based, like, geek media reviewers I've seen that are just like, they see every Marvel movie and they're like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. Or like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Awesome.
So
I can't wait.
I
can't wait. I'll go to the movies for this.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I think I missed Twisters and 40X. I think I missed my Oppie.
Didn't they put it back in some places?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't go to the movies.
Yeah.
I'd rather do anything else and go to watch it than watch a movie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. I can't do it. You want me to do one thing for 2 hours? No way.
You, like, won't sit and watch a movie.
John, the last motion picture I watched in the theaters was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, okay, but that was like 9 months ago.
No, it wasn't.
Across the Spider-Verse?
That was like a calendar year ago. I see like a movie a year, I think.
Okay.
Like on average, I see a movie a year.
Okay.
In the theaters.
Okay.
Was Across the Spider-Verse after Talking is Hard? Or before?
Talking is Hard?
Yes.
What is Talking is Hard?
Is that not what that movie is called?
Talking is
Stop
Hard?
Stop making sense. See, you don't even know what they're called. What is Talking is Hard? What does that mean?
Talking is hard. Stop making sense.
What is Talking is Hard?
I don't know. Are you thinking about the Talking Heads? Because that's who did...
Yeah, but what is Talking is Hard? That's an album by Walk the Moon.
Oh, wow.
We were talking about them recently.
Wow. Talk Hard. The Dewey
Cox story. Talk Hard.
Talk
Whatever,
hard.
dude. I don't go see those things.
Okay.
Flicks are not for me. The last time I expressed excitement about watching a flick, I had it ruined for me in the middle of a podcast. So then I didn't watch the flick.
All right, for folks who may not know, this is the movie Challengers, which like how this happened is really funny. You expressed a desire to see Challengers, and then LB, without skipping a beat, essentially just told you what the movie was about completely. And like, I don't like, it would not have ruined my desire to go see a movie, but I do understand that it would ruin some people's desire to see a movie. So it was very funny. Liv speaking the truth here. I did almost say gooey cocks. That is true.
LOL.
I almost said that.
Gooey
It's
cocks.
so
If they
true.
put Walk Hard in the movies,
Mhm.
again, I'd go see that.
God, okay.
Wrong
Okay.
kid died.
Wrong kid died. Wrong kid
kid
died.
Died.
Wrong kid died.
Are there more census questions, Sean?
No, I don't have any. Do you want to make?
So what are we
should
doing?
Make some up.
I don't want to talk about Borderlands because who gives a shit?
Oh, that was it.
Oh, okay, great.
How excited are you all to see
You
the
just said
Borderlands
that was
movie? This is
it.
from Sleeve McDykel.
I'm amped. I've already seen it 6 times. I'm recording this live from the AMC in Burbank.
Hey, what's the worst pizza topping you're willing to try? Just
Define
above it.
worst.
Well, I would say a pizza topping that is commonly put on pizzas that you are like, I don't think I would like this.
Mushrooms.
Okay, so you just don't like mushrooms.
No, I
But
fucking
you would be
hate those
willing
guys.
to try it?
Yeah.
You'd be willing to try a mushroom pizza.
Mushroom
even though
pizza.
You don't like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay.
You know what? I had a
Yeah, what's
great
up?
pizza recently.
Okay.
tell you about
tell Me, yeah, tell me about your pizza.
It
pizza.
had pears on it
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and Bakari. Hold on. It was at Bakari,
Okay.
which is a restaurant. There's like 4 of them. 5 of
Okay.
them now.
Okay.
Let me look at pizza. Asian pear and brie. It had guava fromage, guava white cheese. It's fucking
Okay.
stupid. Here's my real take.
Okay.
If you have a restaurant, you have to pick a language for the menu.
Okay.
You can't sometimes have words be in French.
I agree.
It's an Asian pear and brie pizza, and then it says guava fromage blanc. No, it's not. It's white cheese. The rest of the menu is in English. Guava cheese is what you have here. Guava cheese, wild arugula, gray salt, and olive oil. It was freaking
Is it a
delicious.
vegan pizza place?
No, it's just they just have pizzas.
But what's guava cheese?
It's just like regular cheese. What's got hints of guava in it, like notes of guava, which
I
didn't
thought-
really mean anything. It didn't taste like guava.
I
It was
thought-
just like kind of sweeter than like a normal pizza, but it was freaking delicious.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
They also have an octopus pizza.
I like octopus.
Well, that one's got octopus, pasilla cream, mozzarella, fennel, and caper relish, scallion, and Urfa pepper oil.
Hmm.
Do you want to hear
I would
about the rest of them?
Try it. Yeah, yeah. Read the rest of this.
They've got a
menu.
margarita pizza, which has what you know. So
It
I'm not
has
gonna read that
lime
one.
and salt. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Tequila. Just pour a whole bottle of tequila right on top of
Really
it. It's real
sloppy
sloppy.
pizza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
wet. Smoked mushroom, which has fromage blanc, white cheddar, 2-year aged, whatever that means, and mixed greens. And bacon and double cream brie. We also had that one. Organic tomato sauce, and then fresh jalapeno, and then a vegan pizza, which I'm not even gonna bother. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? I made.
Get outta
Did you
here.
make anything good this week for food, John? Do you have any plans to make anything good? This
I made like a improvised marinade with yogurt and a can of chipotles and some limes and garlic and some spices for some chicken thighs, and then I grilled those. So it's got kind of this like, it's almost like this. It has the texture and like the texture of like a tandoori chicken, but the flavor profile of like
Ooh.
something that's Mexican.
Yum! That sounds delightful.
And I just like had a wild hair to do that, and it was really, really good. I ate it with a bunch of tortillas and stuff like that over the past like 2 days.
When you get back out here, I gotta take you to Lasita, which is in Chinatown. It's like a Filipino rotisserie style joint. Freaking delicious.
You were telling me about this place.
Yes,
It sounds really good.
Think you would love it. I last night or yesterday afternoon made a garlic, ginger, pepper, like cod situation, which was delicious. I'm trying to get into cooking fish more.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Cooking fish is hard. It's
Cooking
harder
fish is
than you
really
would
hard.
expect.
Yeah, the first piece I cooked, it was over, and then the second piece was better.
Yeah.
It was good. It was way spicier than anything I think I've ever cooked for myself before.
wow.
It was great. I had a great time eating it, great time making it. Yummy.
That's fun. I remember when Ann and her brother Eric went fishing in the White River, about an hour and a half away from here, and they both came home with trout, and like fresh trout. And Ann was like, "Let's do a cook-off, you and me, and Eric will be the judge." And I was like, "Cool." And so I made this garlicky lemony sauce and did all this stuff with it. And Ann basically just like grilled it in a pan, and she's like, "You cheated! You used lemon." And I'm like,
You cooked it.
I'm like,
That's fucked up.
I was like, all you did is cook it in a thing. I was like, I just used a good ingredient. Fish is good. I just never.
Fish is other people food to make for me. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy. Especially like a whitefish like cod. It's like it's got some like if you overcook it.
It's done.
It
goes instantly.
Yep.
Yes.
It goes instantly. So yeah, that's not a good one.
Hey, that's the worst pizza topping that I'm willing to try.
I guess I would try an anchovy pizza.
You don't like tinned fish at all?
I don't like. No, I don't really like
Okay.
it. I mean, I would try it, but I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the most adventurous I'd probably be. Hey, what's the Cleveland Browns of video games?
Okay, so we have to, I think, define the Cleveland Browns first.
A franchise that hasn't done shit.
Yes, no hope. And
But
has
it's
no hope.
been around forever.
Been around forever, but no hope. Mm-hmm. But people who are fans of it have hope for some reason.
Okay.
But they are depressed about it.
Okay.
So it has to be a long-running franchise. Long-running.
I think there's a
video game
really
franchise.
easy answer here under those parameters.
The Kingdom Hearts?
No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think that's true, though, because I do think that there are good Sonic games. And I think that the highs for Sonic the Hedgehog...
There have been good Cleveland Browns teams.
But I think the highs for Sonic the Hedgehog and the cultural relevance of Sonic the Hedgehog is stronger and more long-standing than that of the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns have been around since 1930. They had Jim Brown on the team in the 60s. One of the greatest football players to ever live.
Won nothing.
Well, the Cleveland Browns did... Okay, Cleveland Browns championships. They did win 4 NFL championships in 1950, 1954 to 1955, and then 1964. And they won 4 All-America Conference championships
I don't think
from
those mean anything.
1946 to 1949.
It's really weird, but for me, I don't think the NFL, like anything that you do pre-Super Bowl era in the NFL, I actually don't think it counts or matters. Which is like an unbelievably toxic way to think about it.
I think it counts, but I would almost agree with you that I'm not sure it matters.
I don't know if it matters.
And weirdly enough, I know those things sound the same, but they are different.
They are different. I just don't think it makes a difference. Like, I don't think it matters.
Okay. Okay.
Is it... I'm looking at a list of the longest running video game series.
I mean, there are definitely long running video game series that I think about and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like Medal of Honor. I mean, that's done now.
Yeah.
But
But they really were just churning those out for
really
nobody.
Trying to get those working.
That's actually a really good one. Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
I think we should say Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor is the Cleveland Browns of football.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked, RJ Lee asked, asking the question in reverse, what's the Sonic the Hedgehog of NFL football teams?
Okay, so that means it's got to be
Blue
peaky
with a big cock.
peaky, but
Okay.
never really accomplishing, like never winning at all. Never winning the big one.
Okay.
Who hasn't won?
All right. No one. Okay. So that's the Cardinals, teams without NFL championships. So we have the. Well, I guess the Cardinals won an NFL championship before the Super Bowl.
Doesn't
era.
count. We just said that didn't
But the
count.
Buffalo Bills, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings.
The Atlanta. I think you're right.
It's the
I think
Vikings.
it's the Vikings. 'Cause
Because they're charming.
they've peaked too. Like in 1998, they absolutely should have won the Super Bowl. But
Yes.
didn't.
Peaky, has character, has rich history.
Yeah.
History that like stands kind of in contrast with itself. Like, and it keeps going somehow. Like somehow it is always relevant, even if it doesn't feel like it deserves to continue to be relevant. I think it's the Vikings. Good question.
I don't think the Vikings are embarrassing enough to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't think Sonic is embarrassing anymore
You
to
don't?
regular people. To regular people, I don't think
Okay.
Sonic is
All right,
embarrassing
maybe
anymore.
not. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
I think
That's
like
true.
people who know things for sure, but like he's like Knuckles is a show on Paramount Plus. You know, like
Okay.
like Sonic is over in
Okay.
the wrestling sense, not like
Right.
dead in the water.
Not dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, just so you know, the Cleveland Browns are also on this list. Teams that have never won.
No, because I think people do like Sonic.
Okay.
I think more people like Sonic than people like the Cleveland Browns, and I think the Minnesota
I think
Vikings
that's
are an
true.
easier sell for the rest of the world.
Out of all of these teams, so it's the Bills, Vikings, Falcons, Bengals, Cardinals, Titans, Panthers, Lions, Browns, Texans,
Chargers.
Jaguars, Chargers. I think out of all of these, the Vikings are the most likable.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's like
And it's like you
I don't
have
know.
sympathy for the
maybe
Vikings.
maybe the Lions after that.
Yeah.
And they're blue.
And they're blue, and they did have like really fallow periods,
They did.
like deeply fallow periods. The thing about the
did.
Vikings is that they're mid,
They're mid.
but like there are a lot of bad,
Really
Sonic
bad
games.
Sonic games. Really bad Detroit Lions.
Really
teams.
bad little Detroit Lions teams, really bad Sonic games, and like bad Sonic games back to back, and bad Detroit Lions teams back to back. Too.
I think it's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I think it's the Lions.
Final answer, Regis.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Diddle-diddle-diddle. Congratulations! You've won!
Yay!
Now for a $10 question.
Oh.
Nope. How many fingers and thumbs do you think a Lego minifig has? Ask
0.
Lucky Hyena. I also think it's 0.
It's 0. They have one. Excuse me. You
They have
gave
one
me the
claw
hiccups. That's
hand.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
They have one. This.
Mm-hmm.
One C claw, and there's no fingers and thumbs.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. What? Fuck me.
How'd you fuck this up?
What does completing a game mean to you? By what metric do you say you've beaten a game?
It depends on the kind of video game.
Thank you, My Hero Zero.
Thank you, My Hero Zero. It depends.
Okay, well, let's talk about that because I
Okay.
agree. But what does that mean to you?
So, like, I don't like. I would say that I beat Destiny 2,
Okay.
even though there's 1,000,001 things that have come out since I stopped playing Destiny 2. But I got what I wanted out of Destiny 2,
Okay.
and I put in a sufficient amount of time.
Okay.
And I feel like I completed Destiny 2.
Completed
For
Destiny
other
2.
games, like for Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, for example, which is I'm playing right now, the win condition in that game is very simple. It is you see the credits. Like that's when you beat the video game. But then there are other games that you can't beat. Like you can't beat Fortnite. Like there is no there's no conclusion to that one because there's no
Yeah, there's no
story.
There's no ending to Fortnite.
as there. Yes, exactly. So I think it is relative.
Okay.
What about you?
I think it depends. Like I think like I think It's not true that I think when you're, I think anytime you're like, well, I think I've seen everything there is to see, therefore I've beaten the game.
No, I think
Um,
there's a. Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's okay.
Am I dying?
You might be. I might be too.
There's a difference between saying that you're done with it. Oh, you're done with the game and you've beaten it. I think those are two different things.
Yeah. But I think about something like Balatro,
Yeah.
where I've played that game a lot to the point where I could probably say, like, if someone casually is like, I've beaten Balatro, they may mean that they've like 100% completed it. They've beaten it with every single condition and deck and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And like, I haven't done that, but
Yeah.
like,
Or they
we can
might mean that they.
we can speak to the experience at I think roughly the same level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they could also literally mean they saw the words on the screen, you win.
Yep.
And I would qualify and be like, yeah, you did beat Balatro.
You did beat Balatro. You did get the thing. Yeah, it's hard. Like No Man's Sky. I don't think I need to see the end of the main story of that to have experience all of its systems and everything good that I'm going to get out of that. So I think it really, really, really depends. Rarely when someone says like I've completed it, do I assume that they mean that they've like 100%ed an experience. It's very rare.
Yeah.
In that vein, like, what is the last game that you 100%ed? I'm curious about that.
100%ed Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
The recent Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
You 100% of that game. You got everything there is to get in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
Huh.
It was one of those situations where like I looked up and was like 85% of the way done.
Whoa.
And was like, I guess I might as well.
Weird.
But like I'm not that kind of person. I used to be more inclined to do that.
Yeah.
But not so much anymore.
Yeah, because I'm never like did you plat
No.
that? I'm now not a person that cares about stuff
I used to
like
be when I was a child.
that. Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh no, like if I'm over it, I will leave it.
You'll
I
stop.
simply will walk away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
What about
Yeah,
you? Do you know?
What was the last game I 100%ed? What was the last game that I 100%ed? Oh, it was Breath of the Wild.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
for me, the reason I don't do it is that it's not an intelligent use of my time.
I think I missed like 50 seeds.
Oh, that's okay.
So I haven't done that actually.
That's like 99%. That's okay.
Maybe
I won't tell.
Maybe it was like, well, I think it was probably. It was probably the Mass Effect games. Maybe it was Dragon Age Inquisition.
That's crazy.
Well, those aren't that
What
hard.
is 100%? Yeah, well, I was gonna say like, what is 100? Like,
Well, you have to like keep your
collectibles in that
companions
one?
alive, and you have to like, there are some collectibles like some special weapons and items and special quests that you can go on.
I played and really liked that game. Gun to my head, have no idea what the gameplay loop in that game is. Dragon Age Inquisition, couldn't tell you. I have no idea what the video game plays like.
Mostly going to a
Exactly.
place, and then they're like, "Oh, the sorceress stole my cows," and then it's like, and you're like, "We'll save them," and then you go out into the field, and then you do some battles, and then.
But like, what do you like? What am I pressing X? Am I running around? Like, I don't know.
You are pressing X and running around. Yes, it's like action based.
Cooldown timers?
Some cooldown timers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like a Diablo or not like a Diablo?
Different than Diablo, I would say, but not like, not. I mean, it's definitely not like hordes of enemies like Diablo, right? John got the version of the game with the Fable audio. That's pretty much true. No, really, it's more like they have these blood crystals growing in a cave outside our town, and then
Maybe I
and
don't
then
like Dragon Age.
and then you're like, let's go, Eggman, and then you and the Eggman go and get the blood crystals and break them and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
That comes out this year?
The new one?
Yes. Or did they push it?
I think they pushed it. There's no way it's this year, right? Dragon Age Vanguard release.
Nope, it's called Dragon's Hole now or something, right?
Oh, Veilguard. No, it's Veilguard.
What did it
Veilguard's the
used to
thing
be
that-
called?
Dreadwolf.
Yes.
No, it says fall. Wow.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Definitely not, huh?
No, not in a million years.
Definitely not.
No way.
Let's take votes. Let's take bets in the chat right now.
It's August 8th, and they don't have a date for that
That game
yet.
is 100%.
That is March, baby. That is the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That is February 20. Is it a leap year next year?
Honestly, the ill omen that it was revealed mostly in a Game Informer cover that has now been taken offline.
Yes.
Is probably enough to tell me okay.
It's
It's probably not coming
getting
out.
pushed, huh?
It's getting pushed.
You gotta. I can't imagine. You gotta redo that whole PR cycle. That's
Games
crazy.
Releases 2024. Let's look at the rest of the year real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Because I'm. Did you watch that new Zelda trailer with the bonding and the binding? That was
Yeah,
kinda
it looks
cool.
great. I'm excited. I feel like that game is going to be like Link Between Worlds, which is.
Did you like that game?
I love that game.
Okay.
I'm really excited about it.
Cool.
I'm really excited about what's this one called? Zelda's
Echoes
Home?
of Wisdom.
Okay, so Zelda's Home.
Zelda's Home. Yeah, that's right.
I'm amped about it. That game. Here are the games I'm excited about this year.
Black Myth Wukong.
Nope.
Wild West Dynasty.
I don't know what that is.
Concord.
Nope.
Squirrel with a Gun.
Well, maybe intriguing. Tell me more. Tell me more of Squirrel with a Gun.
Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
No.
Transformers Galactic Trials.
Okay. No.
Monster High Skulltimate Secrets.
No.
And Slitterhead.
No. Okay, so Indiana Jones.
Okay. That's it? That's it. That's the only thing you're excited about is Indiana Jones.
Zelda.
Okay, Zelda.
I have to also look at the list.
I'm
Star Wars Outlaws, that comes out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yep.
Mario Luigi Brothership.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I know you're confident enough for that
Astrobot.
one. Astrobot for sure.
Zelda.
Mm-hmm. You already said that. What about Funko Fusion? And that's a serious question.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah.
I was about to say.
If someone slides in my email with a code for Funko Fusion.
Oh, they will. They absolutely will.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
absolutely. I'm taking code
all right.
and I'm playing it.
Okay.
That's it, actually, I think.
I
can't tell if I'm actually excited about Sonic and Shadow Generations or if I'm still thinking about how good those OLED TVs looked in that.
They did
tent.
look good in that tent. those were good TVs. Those are good TVs. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can't
the
tell.
SGF Sega tent. Yeah, those TVs were fucking nice.
Yeah, I can't
They're
tell
really nice.
which one of those is the
Yeah.
right.
I almost
or
looked
is
at them and
where
I was like,
land.
y'all brought these out for this? For Sonic and Knuckles. You know Knuckles is running at like a 5 frame rate, right? But these TVs look fire. Like
UFO 50 is this year. I am
UFO
excited
50
about
is this
that.
year. I am here are games that I am curious about checking out, not necessarily excited about. I'm curious about Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm
you're
curious
not.
about an Assassin's Creed game for the first time in a
You
long
aren't.
time.
Why are you saying this stuff for?
I'm a little bit curious about it.
You're not.
I'm curious about it.
You aren't.
I-
Who are you lying to? For what purpose are you
I'm
out
lying
here on
to
TV?
Eve Gilmour to send me a code.
For Assassin's Creed
For
Shadows,
Assassin's
a
Creed
game that
Shadows.
no one will think about. It's going to sell 1,000,003 copies.
And no one will think about it. They are the
No.
masters of those games.
Yes!
This sold so well, and literally no one thinks.
No
about
one
these
thinks
games.
about it.
Yep.
Okay, so Assassin's Creed.
Soccer 2 that comes out at the end of November. I actually think that's going to get delayed again. I feel so bad for that team, but like, they cannot get this fucking game out the door.
Wait, Soccer 2?
Stalker 2.
Stalker. I think you
this
said
is
soccer too.
The game from the Ukrainian team. Which
Yeah,
is,
no.
it's I think it's getting delayed again. I hope not, but yeah, they've had a really tough time getting that out of the door. Let's see, what else am I interested in? I'm a little bit interested in Visions of Mana. That's a Square Enix joint that comes out at the end of this month. I'm interested in something called Zoocosis, which is just something that I've hearing about the first time today. It looks like it involves a zoo gone wrong.
Finally.
A lot of body horror with mutant
So I won't
giraffes.
Google it. Awesome.
Yeah, so that looks scary. Never heard of it.
Body cam horror simulation game is one of the quickest ways to get me to close a tab.
I don't know what, like, I think if you listen, of course there are probably exceptions to every rule, but if you are a developer that's like, you know what I think we should do is we should make this video game look like the grainy body cam footage of an extrajudicial murder that you see.
You're crazy.
I'm kind of like, you
Relax.
got some bad ideas.
Go play Mario Party.
Yeah, you got some bad ideas.
Speaking of Mario Party Jamboree, October 17th.
No fucking way.
Yes, 50 turns, you and me, John. 50
No
turns,
fucking way.
Mario
No
Jamboree.
fucking way. No fucking way.
All, yes.
Well, GameSpot does not have the Dragon Quest 3 HD remake on their list of their shit.
Yeah.
But it is out on November 14th, which I am excited about.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. And that trailer is loud in my ears.
Oh.
And yeah, that's about it, huh?
Light end of the year, I think. It was crazy. The
Very
beginning of this
light
year was
end of the year.
crazy. And I think the beginning of next year will also be intense, but I think the end of this year is going to be pretty light.
Very light end of the year. Hey, have you kept up with college football?
Nah, dropped it like a fucking stone.
Okay. I'll have a bigger review up on the site soon with a deeper dive on a bonus podcast. But yeah, I think my final thoughts on this game is pretty mid. That engine sucks. Like, that engine really, really stinks. You start to see the cracks in it pretty quickly. There are just things that, like, the AI of linebackers looking like staring down a quarterback that is breaking the pocket to run for 20 yards.
Yes.
And the linebacker just literally is just playing there going like, I guess I'll let you do this, is like crazy to look at in 2024 when football games that are 20 years old have figured this out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really bad. I feel like the recruiting engine is, it's exactly the same, really, as it was 11 years ago. And when this game came out, I think I was pretty happy that things were mostly the same. And now, after spending a few weeks with it, I'm like, I'm not really seeing a reason to play this instead of...
For sure. 14.
Instead of the older game. Some of the problem with that is that I got really attached to not giving a shit about who the real players were.
Yeah.
And now it's like, because everything is NIL, there are limitations on what you can do with those players. You can't edit them. You can't do anything with them like a normal sports game. So there's this kind of weird ceiling on kind of where...
Yeah, you kind of have to
things
churn
can go.
all of the NIL guys out of your program before you can do anything fun with them.
Yep. Which I think is pretty strange. And... yeah, I think this game is very odd. I think it's a very odd game. I know it's going to be very popular. It is like dominating a lot of the TikTok sphere that I see. Like, a lot of people are still playing this game. But I will say, the vast majority of people I see who are playing this game are doing compilations of the engine completely falling apart on them.
Yes.
And also just like plays that should not happen. Quarterbacks that are basically on their back on the way down and they throw a perfect spiral pass like 40 yards down the field.
I watched one yesterday where a guy completed a 20-yard pass downfield and then the game called it an interception in the end zone to the defense on a guy that was like laying down. So like you watch the ball leave his hands, get caught by the guy, and then he goes down, and then the game says touchdown off of a pick six.
Yep.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah, I cannot
Okay.
explain to people enough that this is a solved. These are solved issues.
Yeah, it is not
These
hard
things
to make
did
a
not.
football video game.
These things did not happen 20 years ago. So it's very weird to see it just continue to happen in every single sports game that comes out. Kofi shared a video of someone scoring 2 touchdowns on one play, which that's a new one.
Wait,
Like,
really?
That's a new one.
Oh, that's fun.
So
I
like
love
someone,
new ways to invent
like
rules.
so someone scored and it scored 12 points.
Fuck
basically,
yes,
which is
that's good.
Not,
That's tasty.
Not real.
This isn't related at all, but John, can you go to Lebatard's Twitter account because there's some breaking news.
Dan
Lebatard.
Lebastard. Twitter. Dan. Oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Yes, breaking news. What am I looking at? Oh, new version of Round Ball Rock from John Tesh. Now, folks, I don't think I can pipe this into the show because I think it'll be a problem for the YouTube. But wow, is this real?
John, look at my face.
What? Why are you sad? Because I can't play it on air? Fine. All right, folks. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do our sign off now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then you're gonna cut it off.
Then I'm basically going to like put this at the end of it.
That's smart.
And then that'll be it.
That's
Niki,
really smart.
Do you have anything to plug?
Nah.
Nothing to plug in your life.
Listen to the podcast. If you're driving, close your eyes. We're taking this week off, but we'll be back next week.
We're taking this week off. And we may start recording. Sounds like as soon as next week, if you are a fan of If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes. The schedule for us is going to be different. We're going to be recording on Friday afternoons and posting the episodes on Monday mornings. So that'll be a shift. We'll probably announce something in the Discord. I don't know. We should just do that now.
I'll do it right now.
But yeah, that'll be a new change. Many of us are building jobs on top of the jobs we have. So Wednesday afternoon is getting harder for us to commit to. So Friday afternoon it will be. And yes, we are taking this week off, which has been actually kind of nice. To take a break every once in a while, but yeah. All right, so go listen to that, and let's get out of here. Round Ball Rock, folks. If you want to go to vgbs.com/join, you can join in the Hive right now and ask us wonderful, beautiful questions. I think we asked 100% of those questions today. They were fun. What's up, Niki?
Wow, the U.S. is down 13 to Serbia right now.
The men's team?
Yes.
No way.
It's 50-37.
Whoa. Well, I got to go check that out.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's really interesting.
Get us out of here, John.
Get
we gotta go.
Get us out of here. All right. We'll see you next week, folks, for a new episode of the VGB's podcast. Until then, keep on buzzing. Let me get this shared screen